Go for it.
Hey, welcome everybody to the Delicious Marketing How-To Workshop. Today, we're super excited to be hanging out with everybody and over this short period of time. This is going to be a very quick training. We're going to be talking about Facebook sponsored message ads. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce my business partner, David Calafiore, who is going to walk you through an amazing workshop that's going to shed some light on sponsored message ads. So David, when you're ready, go ahead and jump in.
Awesome, everybody. Welcome to this how-to workshop. As Drew mentioned, Facebook sponsored message ads. There we go. Whoops. Guys, so what we're going to be covering today, this is not meant to be a long drawn out thing. We want to get you in and out of here and get the knowledge that you need so maybe you can dive in and start using these for your business or for your clients. So what we're going to be covering today, part one, what exactly is a Facebook sponsored message, and then why you should be using them. Part two, when to use a Facebook sponsored message. There are some really important things that you are going to want to consider when using these. There's times when you should, maybe times when you should not use these. And then part three, we're going to kind of just go over the shoulder, and we're going to go into ManyChat, and we're going to show you how to set up and deploy a Facebook sponsored message using ManyChat. So step by step. And then we're also going to be showing you a few best practices, some things that you should be following when setting these things up. So part one here, guys, what exactly is a Facebook sponsored message and why should you be using them? Well, you may or may not know, but just recently, I think it was March 4th, Drew, if I'm correct, the rules changed. Facebook basically says that you can no longer broadcast message to everybody. In the past, you've been able to basically, if you had a messenger subscriber list within ManyChat or some of these other platforms, you could basically touch a button or click a button, create a broadcast message, and basically send it out to everybody. But the rules have changed. That is, for the most part, gone. There's a couple of very, very rare exceptions where you can use this functionality. The only way that you can do it now is to broadcast to people who have interacted with your messenger bot in the last 24 hours. And then even with that, you're not supposed to be sending, promotional type stuff. So the rules have changed. Reaching your messenger subscribers with a free broadcast is a thing of the past, guys. A lot of people are freaking out or upset over this, over Facebook taking away the free broadcasting. But Drew and I say, don't cry, right? This change in rules from Facebook is a very, very good thing for all of us. So why is this a good thing, right? Who can give me some reasons on why the new rules are a blessing? And I was going to wait and have everybody, give me some ideas in the chat. I know we have a little bit of a delay today, so we'll kind of skip past that. Here's the deal. Marketers ruin everything. It's happened with all sorts of things. It's happened with email marketing. It's happened. What else have marketers ruined, Drew, over time? It's just basically every platform, a new piece of technology comes along, and marketers ruin it. Facebook ads in the past, when Facebook ads first started, you could pretty much promote anything in a Facebook ad. Now there's all sorts of rules, right? My God, I went and set up a Facebook ad for a real estate client not too long ago, and you can't use any of the targeting. You can't even, dial down the radius to, below 15 miles. And all of the demographic stuff is gone. So over time, marketers kind of, pile on and they ruin everything. And that was happening with Messenger, right? You've got a bunch of spammers who are taking advantage of the platform and sending out these broadcasts with all sorts of promotional BS. And over time, what happens is people start to tune out. They get pissed off. They don't want this stuff showing up in their inbox. And, Facebook at some point, of course, they want to monetize it too. So they've done that. They've monetized the Messenger platform with these sponsored messages, but they've also cut down on the amount of BS and spam that's being sent through Messenger. So the big reason why these rules are a good thing, and the rule change is a good thing for all of us, even if you don't realize it, is that it's going to allow us to still use an effective platform that we have in Messenger to get our message to people that we want to put our message in front of. And Messenger really allows us to do that in a unique, effective way right now. And hopefully it will stay that way for a little while. So here we go. The big reason why the new rules are good is it removes most of the bad actors from abusing the platform. Biggest reason. So, what exactly is a Facebook sponsored message? Facebook sponsored messages are a type of Facebook ad that allows you to deliver your message directly into the Messenger inbox of people who are subscribed to your bot or who have interacted with live chat on your page. So this includes people who have unsubscribed, but doesn't include people who have blocked your page. So that last thing I just mentioned there is when you set up one of these sponsored messages, Facebook still will send these sponsored messages to people who have unsubscribed from your bot. So there's some important things that you're going to want to do to make sure that you avoid sending messages to people who don't want to receive your message. Okay. Facebook sponsored messages are very inexpensive at the moment. I mean, like very inexpensive. Sponsored message ads are currently very affordable, costing around 2 cents to 10 cents per opened message, right? We did one of these for a client last week, and literally we sent messages to almost 600 people for about, I think it ended up being at like around $7, Drew.
That's terrible.
So a DM, a direct message right into your prospects or customers' Facebook Messenger inbox for 2 to 10 cents.
That's incredible. If you think about it, I mean, $7 to reach 600 people who have subscribed, to your messenger, to your list is remarkable, because a lot of people that have made the effort to build out a messenger list and currently are interacting or have at one point interacted with that list about a product or a service, your company, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. We know that messenger open rates are extremely high compared to like email open rates and that sort of thing. So the expense to get it in front of a cold audience that is likely to be a little bit warmer than, say, a complete stranger is phenomenal. $7 to reach 600 people. I take that every single day.
Yeah. And what's cool is, with Messenger, you can do all sorts of cool things that you can't do with an email. We've done things like put audio messages into these types of campaigns. Many of you may have received one of those from us. You can put videos. You can set up all different types of automations, and people can buy stuff through Messenger. There's all sorts of cool things that you can do with the platform that you simply just can't do with email or other forms of communication right now. So they're really inexpensive. Facebook sponsored messages look and feel just like a regular message. So there's no indication that this is an ad that you're receiving in your inbox, which is really cool. Like a normal Facebook ad has a sponsored moniker on it. When you receive a Facebook sponsored message, there's no indication that it's actually an ad. So that's one of the big benefits of the messages that they have over other types of messenger ads, is that they don't get labeled as sponsored. The ad shows up only when someone opens the paid message, and they usually don't get tagged as spam because people have already interacted with the sender and they know who you are. Really important. Facebook sponsored messages are an easy, effective, and inexpensive way to reconnect with your subscribers. So you've maybe spent a lot of time and money building up that subscriber list in ManyChat. Now you can't just, push that button and send a broadcast to all of them. So these sponsored messages are going to be the way that's going to allow you to reconnect and interact with these subscribers. Some ways that people are using these are they're sending users into specific flows or destinations within your bot. They're used to nurture relationships by providing relevant content, updates, and promotions. And yes, you can send promotional material through these ads, which we're not supposed to do with broadcasting previously. I think a lot of people did, and that's why Facebook kind of changed the rules. You had a lot of people spamming, sending promotional BS through those broadcasts. And now with the sponsored message, you can do that and stay within Facebook's terms of services. And then it's also a great way to re-engage with some subscribers and open up that 24-hour window. So once you re-engage with your subscribers, you then do have the opportunity to send that subscriber more messages within a 24-hour window. So using the sponsored message is a great way to open up that 24-hour window. So when should you use sponsored messages? Facebook recently announced, like we've just been discussing, many changes to the Messenger platform policy, which took place on March 24th. So businesses will only be allowed to message subscribers within the 24 hours of their last interaction with that business page. So Facebook calls this the 24-hour messaging window, okay? If you want to get into the Messenger inbox of your subscribers outside of that 24-hour window, you must use a Facebook sponsored message in order to stay compliant and within Facebook's terms of service. So basically, guys, if somebody has not interacted with your bot within 24 hours and you want to put messaging in front of them inside their Facebook Messenger inbox, you're going to have to do it. You're going to have to use Facebook sponsored message. Also, you can only send sponsored messages to subscribers who've interacted with your page within the last year. There's also a few things you might want to consider, guys. So sponsored messages don't deliver like a typical broadcast. So these are ads, right? And they're impacted by all the normal things that Facebook ads are impacted by, and that's bidding competition with other businesses. So unlike a traditional broadcast, these sponsored messages are not delivered to the inbox all at one time. They're delivered and spread out like ad impressions are in a sense, right? So messages are not all delivered at once, and you should take this into consideration when you're setting up these ads. So if you're trying to promote something that is time sensitive, it's going to take time to get all of those messages delivered. And you may, a sponsored message may not be the best way for you to get in front of people if you're promoting something that's happening today, right? You're not going to be able to get into the inbox of all your subscribers within that short amount of time. So take that into consideration. A few other things to consider. There are some limitations. You can only send sponsored messages to subscribers who've interacted with your page within the last year. I've just mentioned that. And there's also limits to how many sponsored messages a subscriber can receive per day. And that limit is not just from you. So I'm Dave, I'm a Facebook user. Once I receive a Facebook sponsored message from somebody on Facebook, could be another business, I won't receive another one within the next 24 hours. So if one of my subscribers is getting Facebook sponsored messages from another business, it's going to prevent my message from getting into their inbox. And this is another one of the reasons why it can take some time for all of your subscribers to receive your message using these types of ads. Some tips for sending effective sponsored messages. It's a good idea to segment your list so you don't send messages to people who have unsubscribed, and we're going to cover that and show you how to do that. You don't want to send your Facebook messages to people who don't want your content. It's a good idea to keep messages short and to the point. Ask questions that pique interest and open loops. Direct people to different sequences in your bot. Okay. So these are just some short, I think, good practices to keep when you're using these types of ads. I found that asking a question at the very beginning and kind of starting an open loop and getting someone's interest peaked is a great way to get people interacting with your bot, to open up that 24-hour window, and then to send them into another flow so they can interact with more of your content, or you can send them whatever marketing message that you need to get them. So that's just kind of a short overview, guys, of sponsored messenger ads and what they are. Is there any questions about
nothing so far in the chat? Nothing so
Okay.
far in the chat, but as it's coming up, I'm sure we'll have some questions as we dive in. It looks like you're going to actually jump into ManyChat and set one of these things up.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to head over to ManyChat. And we're going to set up one of these sponsored messages and kind of just take you through the process and let you see what the process is like. And actually, what we're going to do, we're going to do kind of an inception thing, Drew. We're going to use a sponsored message to deliver a replay of this very training to people who perhaps did not register for the call or were not able to make it. So we're going to set up an ad to deliver the replay. So you may actually receive the very message that we're going to be setting up and sending out today. How's that sound?
I think that's a good idea, since we said that we're going to have a replay. I know some folks are having some technical issues and couldn't hear us. They're going to get this entire training by way of a sponsored message, and that's fantastic.
Awesome. So yeah, let me give me a second here. I'm going to share my screen. Just let me know when that is up, Drew.
You're good to go.
Perfect. All right, guys. So we are inside ManyChat. Now, this is not a ManyChat training. If you've never used it before, you're probably going to want to, dig into it and figure it out a little bit before you start running these ads. But we're going to take you through the steps of setting up a sponsored message using ManyChat. You can actually do it all right in ManyChat. You can also do it inside the Facebook ads platform, but I think it's a little bit more difficult, and it's very straightforward when you're doing it all right here in ManyChat. It's kind of set up and made just for creating these types of ads. So the first thing that I want you to do, guys, and this will come into play in a few minutes, before you go in and set up your ads, go to your settings tab. And then once you're there, click on the general settings tab at the top. And what I want you to do is scroll down, and where it says audience visibility, I want you to make sure that you have checked off to show only subscribed users. Okay. And this is important, and I'll show you why in a few minutes, but it's a good idea just to get this done right from the beginning. Make sure this is checked off and it says show only subscribed users.
Why is that important, David?
Well, like I was mentioning before when we were going through the slides earlier, Facebook will show these sponsored messages to anybody who's interacted with your Facebook page's messenger, and that includes people who've unsubscribed from your ManyChat list. And what we're going to do is create a custom audience of only people who are currently and actively subscribed to your ManyChat bot list. So that way, once we set up the ad and send it off to Facebook and they approve it, that we're not sending messages to people who don't want messages from us. We don't want to piss anybody off. We're not looking to violate anybody's, time or inbox. So we want to make sure that we're only sending messages to people who actually want them from us. And what this does is when we go and create that custom audience, it's only going to show us people who are actively subscribed. It'll remove all the people who've unsubscribed or blocked us. So make sure that you do this little step before we get started. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to go up to Growth Tools, click on that, and you'll see you've got an option for ads here. Okay. I'm going to click on ads. And we're going to click on create a new ad. And then you're going to connect your Facebook page that you, or your Facebook ad account that you want to connect this ad to. And here we go. We're going to do Delicious Marketing. We're going to create a new campaign. And we're going to use the messages campaign type, of course. We're going to give this a name. So we'll say, oops. Continue. Now we're in the ad set tab. So we're going to create a new ad set. And this is important right here. So message destination, we want to change this from click to messenger to sponsored message. Really important that you do that. We want to give our ad set a name. This next step is important. So this is where you're basically selecting your audience. And what we want to do, guys, is now create a custom audience of everybody who's subscribed to our messenger bot. So we're going to click on here. As you can see, if you have custom audiences set, they're all going to show here. But what we want to do is create a new custom audience. So we're going to click on that link there. I'll show you that again. Right here, just kind of click at the top. And then you have two options. You can create a lookalike audience or a custom audience. We want to create a custom audience. So click here. Give your audience a name. And I recommend doing this each and every time that you set up one of these ads. So, you know, if you've had 10 people opt out since the last time that you've ran one of these ads, of course, we don't want to show these ads to those people who've opted out since the last time. So each time that you create a new sponsored message ad, I would recommend also creating a new custom audience specifically for that ad. So maybe we'll just call this ManyChat subs, and I'll give it a date. It's today, the 13th. So 13/20. Continue. And now, guys, it is showing me all of our subscribers here. And you can see they all come pre-selected, right? If there's people that you didn't want to add to the custom audience, you can also use the filters if you have, you know, if you're making a custom audience of maybe somebody who opted into a specific contest or a specific campaign, you can filter by adding conditions and then drilling down via tags or custom fields, all sorts of stuff. But we're just going to leave this wide open for now. We're just going to add everybody who's on our list here into the custom audience. I'm not sure that you have to go do this, but for some reason, it just makes me feel more comfortable to make sure that they're all checked off. You probably don't. Anyway, now what you want to do is click the Create Audience button. And boom. So now you've created a custom audience of only current subscribers to your ManyChat list. All right. Now the rest of it we just kind of leave alone. I don't really want to target by age. You can leave all this stuff alone. Maybe if you wanted to target people in specific locations, you could do that. But we're going to leave all of these things alone because we're using a custom audience. The placements are all preset. You can't really change those because the placement is just simply your Facebook Messenger inbox of your subscribers. And then the next step here is budget. So these things are so inexpensive. And what I find is, since this is an ad and you are competing in an auction against other people who are running ads, I find that adding a really high budget tends to make these deliver a little bit faster in my experience. You're never going to spend the budget that I'm going to put here. So like I'll put like $300. But knowing that, we've got 600 or 700 subscribers and that these messages cost on average between 2 cents and 10 cents per open, you can kind of figure out what your costs are going to be. But I found that putting a larger budget in here, for some reason, makes these ads deliver faster. Again, too, you have to add a bid control number in here. I'll do the same, $300. And then if you want to, you can either run your ad set continuously until you tell it to stop or turn it off, or you can set a start and end date. Okay. When you set a start and end date, if you pick for your ads to start today and end tomorrow, you're probably not going to hit a good majority of your subscriber list. It takes a little bit of time for these messages to get delivered into inboxes. So like I was mentioning in the first part, if you have something that's time sensitive, these types of messages may not be a good way to get your message in front of people, or you won't get your message in front of everybody if you have a very, very short, confined amount of time to get your message out. Right now, we're just going to leave it on run my ad set continuously starting today. Okay. Perfect. So now that we've got all the targeting set up and the custom audiences and the budget and all that stuff, step 4 here, guys, is to set up the message that's actually going to be sent into the inbox. And there's a couple best practices here too that I recommend that you follow. There's a few things that we found out the hard way. A few weeks ago, we sent out a message where we had a name parameter in here, and the name parameters don't work when sending these initial messages out that land in people's inboxes, or at least it wasn't working a few weeks ago. And it was kind of embarrassing. We sent a message out and it said hi, first name. And then it sent the rest of the message below it. Looks like ManyChat has removed that option here. So that's a good thing. But last week, or it was maybe 2 weeks ago, that option was there and it was kind of embarrassing. I also find sometimes that emojis don't get sent properly during this first message that you set up. So you may, if you're going to use them sparingly. So sometimes they appear broken, and you don't want to have 10 broken emojis showing up in your message. They may or may not have fixed that, but that's been my experience as of late. Sometimes the emojis are broken. Drew, is there any messages or any questions before I continue?
Yeah, actually, Mike Maggs asked, are these digital display ads or text only?
They're like a Facebook message, Mike. I'll show you specifically as we set it up. It's just like sending a Facebook message. That's what it looks like.
Can you add audio and video?
You can, but not in this initial message.
Right. It's first later on in the messaging, right? Yeah,
exactly. So when we were talking before about some best practices, and one of the best practices when creating these ads is to get somebody's interest peaked, or to open up a conversation loop, right? Some of you may have received a message from us last week, which was promoting this very training. And I forget exactly what I asked in that, but I kind of asked hey, would you like to learn how to put messages in your client's inbox, just like this? And then below it, I put a button that says, oh, you bet I would. So it kind of just opens a loop. And if somebody, has interest in what you just asked, they can push the button below, which takes them to the next step. So let's give a variation of that. All right, Drew, give me an example. What do you think?
So is this message going to be for the replay?
Yeah. Yep.
You can make a statement saying, hey, we just completed the training on Facebook Messenger sponsored messages.
Oh my god, my keyboard is having issues. Finished a training on
Facebook Messenger sponsored messages.
Okay.
Comma. Thank you if you were able to attend live. As promised.
We only have 42. We only have 42 characters left.
Okay. We have. Do you want the replay?
There you go. Right now, I'm going to put a couple down arrows here. Hopefully, they'll work. And then boom. Right. So the next step here is to get somebody to hopefully interact and take the next step. What the cool thing is, once somebody interacts here and either clicks a button or clicks a quick reply button, that 24-hour time period opens. So technically, for anybody who opens or clicks on this button, you could send them a broadcast message within that 24 hours, which is kind of cool. So we're going to put a quick reply button here and says, hell yeah. We'll put a little fire emoji. Something like that, right? Now, what you have to do is now connect this, either the button, if you're going to use a button, or the quick reply button here underneath. You need to connect it to another flow. All right. So what you want to do is we're going to actually go out of here to flows. And we're going to click a new flow.
So while you're doing that, a new flow, for those of you who are not familiar with ManyChat, is just another sequence, right? So you're basically setting up your follow-up message sequence that's basically going to be the reply to anyone that says, hell yeah, they want what you've got.
Yeah, essentially it's like creating another like message landing page that we're going to connect that button to.
Right.
In a maybe that's like a simple way to explain it. All right, so I created a new flow. I named it sponsored message replay, and now we're going to add our messaging to this flow. So maybe we'll put awesome first name. Simply tap on the flow. Then I'm going to put a button here. So what I'm going to do, guys, is when I get the replay back from this, I'm going to probably upload it to our YouTube channel. I'll have to get the embed code, I've created a post on our website. So I'll probably just embed it on our website. I've got the link already here. So let me grab the link. And watch. There we go. And we'll make the button open up a website. Boom. And done.
So what's happened is on that previous page, we've asked them if they want the replay. They clicked on that button that says, hell yeah. They're getting this new message that's popping up that says, you know, awesome, whatever their first name is, right? Because we're sending this out to, I don't know, a couple hundred people or 500 people or whatever it is. And everybody's individual. So now each person that says that they're interested in getting the replay, they tap on that. They get this message that says, awesome first name. Simply tap on the button below to access the replay of the Facebook sponsored message training. Boom, they hit this button and it's going to take them over to our blog or whatever the destination URL or the web address that we've just or that you've just programmed into that particular button. We have delivered what they've asked them to do at this point, right? They're going to be landing on our web page, which will have the YouTube video. Could we simply send them to a YouTube channel if we wanted to? Or
yeah, you could send them anywhere. Absolutely.
Right.
We get the benefit, you know, when people go to our website, if we have a YouTube embed there, you still record the view on the video, plus you get people, you know, visiting your website and maybe looking at some other stuff. So that's our preference. But yeah, you can send anywhere. You could, you know, you could actually even upload a video, you know, right here into ManyChat as long as it's under the 25 megabyte size limitation. You could put an audio message here, which says, hey, you know, has a message on it. That is the cool thing about Messenger is that you have all these different options of ways that you can interact and get your message across. And that's what we love about it. Could you
theoretically send them to an Everlinks page that has that video there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You sure could. So once you're done here and you've got your message set up the way that you want it, just hit publish. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to the ad here. All right. And again, remember I set up the quick reply button. It says, hell yeah. When I click on that, I have to connect this button to a flow. So I'm going to connect it to the flow that I just created. So go to a flow, select a flow. And here it is, right? Sponsored message replay. Boom. Select it. Done. And that's it. That's it. Basically, this message is going to end up in your inbox and look like, you know, Delicious Marketing just sent me a Facebook DM. It's going to have this message in it. And hopefully we'll get people clicking on the hell yeah to grab the replay and check it out. Now, you know, we're just using this as an example. I mean, I'm sure you could think of a million different ways that you could use this for a small business, a restaurant, a chiropractor, a dentist, right? How you can use it for your own agencies if you are, you know, doing lead generation and you've built up a messenger list and perhaps you want to, you know, maybe put your latest blog post or Facebook live video training that you did that might be beneficial for a local business owner. And you want to put that in front of them and you've got them on the messenger list. You can use this to ding right into their Facebook Messenger inbox. And once you get them interacting, there's a million different things that you can do to get your message across.
David, question.
Yeah.
So I'm sure this might be going through a lot of our viewers and replay viewers' minds. So just to be clear, could a local restaurant, local business send out an offer by way of a sponsored message, like for like a coupon or a 2-for-1 or buy one, get one free or something like that?
1,000,000%. Yep. I mean, think of it almost as email marketing, but in a more powerful way.
There you go.
Imagine, you know, almost the way to think about it right now is think about ManyChat as being Active Campaign or Constant Contact. It's just the vehicle that you're using to send the message, and the message is going into it. You're not sending an email; you're sending a Facebook message. But kind of think about it in that in that sense. And what's cool too is this is not about list growth, but with ManyChat too. As you get people opting in for your messenger list, you can also opt them in for email marketing and SMS marketing, all within the same platform. So it just gives you infinite options. You can send people a text message, you can send them an email, you can use sponsored messages to deliver messages right into their inbox, all right from within ManyChat.
Yeah, so the killer opportunity here is, and the effort and the onus, if you see the value in ManyChat and building out a messenger list, it hasn't changed. Your goal is to get people in and on that list for your business or for your for your agency or for your clients if you're doing any type of messenger marketing consultation or anything like that. The game for that has not changed. You still want to get them on your messenger bot list. And part of that process, what we recommend is building out an email list as well as SMS. If you can get that information and collect it, and you own that list, right? You don't necessarily own your messenger list. That's still the property of ManyChat or whatever chatbot system that you're using, as well as
Facebook, really,
right? Yeah. Facebook, but the game hasn't changed. I mean, it has changed a little bit in terms of it's not a free game anymore. But at this time, at the time of this recording of this video, it's so cheap to be able to reach that list and take them through that next step, particularly if you've got a promotion. And as you mentioned, David, earlier, once you send out this message and people interact with that particular bot, the clock continues. It starts over again. You get that 24 hours to be able to broadcast to people that have interacted with that particular bot. And, we've had tremendous results with this, sending this out to a substantial list for $7 is entirely worth your time, effort, and investment. Certainly if you've got something to sell or something to offer. So Dave, you did an amazing job here showing the walkthrough of sponsored messages.
So, I mean, it's complete. I'm not going to hit send to Facebook yet because I need to get our collateral ready, right? I need to get my replay done. I need to upload it to YouTube and then put it on our website and then add the link over on the flow that I created. Or actually, I added the link there already, but if people click there, they're not going to find the replay yet. So I'm going to wait till we get all that stuff set up. Then, I mean, basically, once you have your message all set here, you just hit send to Facebook. It goes through the same sort of approval process that regular ads do too. So, sometimes it's like approved in an hour. Other times I've waited 24 hours, 48 hours. Who the hell knows what causes that sort of stuff to be delayed? But it goes through the normal approval process, and then shortly after it gets approved, those messages start landing in people's inboxes.
That's fantastic. Well, David, anything else that we should be sharing with the good folks on this workshop webinar?
I think that's the gist of it. We kind of just wanted to give you an overview of what these sponsored messages are, how they work, and how you can simply set one up. Kathleen's asking, so how does a 24-hour limit affect previous bot trainings you've done? Well, basically, Kathleen, once somebody interacts with that message that we sent up, so say somebody clicks on that hell yeah button in the question and that first message, it starts that clock. So it initiates a new 24 hours for that subscriber. So if you wanted to, you could set up another flow or a message that could go out to that person within that 24-hour time frame without having to pay Facebook for it.
I think she's also asking about some of the bot trainings that we've done before. So for like local media assets and birthday bots and things of that nature. Here's the deal with that, Kathleen. All those different types of strategies that we're talking about for list growth and whatnot, they unless they've interacted with your stuff today, with the current campaign that you've put out there, you've got that 24 hours, right? If they interacted with it today. Otherwise, they have been put on your list. They're going to any interaction. If you want them to know about stuff, you're going to need to send a sponsored message, unless they interact with your bot or a new bot that you've put out there, right?
Right.
So for those folks that are into local media assets or run a local media asset, if you run a campaign that's like a coupon or a contest or something along those lines, a good majority of those people are probably going to see it because they're active on your page. If they interact with that particular bot, you've got 24 hours. Otherwise, it makes sense to build out those lists with new campaigns, interact with them for 24 hours, or send a sponsored message, right? So if you've got a list of, say, 500 people that are on your list from a previous campaigns, or 1,000 people from previous campaigns, and you've aggregated them on certain tags and lists and so on and so forth, those folks you can't send a broadcast to unless it's a sponsored message.
Yeah.
And this is why we recommend doing the sponsored message ads, because it's so darn cheap that you're going to reach those folks. And unfortunately, yeah, it is a pay to play, position that you've got here, but it's so darn cheap. And as you know, as we know, as we all agree, the open rates on these things and the potential click-through rates are just phenomenal.
Yeah. And also, Kathleen, you might be wondering too, is what I'm showing you in terms of that 24-hour period changing the list growth methods that we've taught you? The answer is no. All that stuff still works just as it has in the LMA course, and all the things that we've shown you over time, the contests, the giveaways. Those are all still amazing ways to grow your subscriber list. Those types of things are not affected at all. Okay. So Adam's asking, have you guys ever had a sponsored message actually spend the full $300? Nope, we have not. We're not somebody, we don't have massive lists. I think my largest local media asset local list is in the 4,000 or 5,000 person range. And even at that, we're sending these messages out at, like, in most cases, like 2 to 5 cents a piece. So we've never spent the budget. I was hoping this could replace reminder message for birthday bot coupon saying it's your birthday tomorrow. Don't forget your coupon, but it looks like you can't guarantee. You cannot guarantee timing on these, Fraser. That is true. But maybe if you did it for an upcoming week, perhaps, maybe not the day before, but if you had that time frame spread out a little bit more, you might be able to do that. Kathleen says, thanks. So it seems that getting email and phone number initially are important too. I absolutely would, if you can, if it makes sense in what you're doing, I absolutely would grab an email and phone number if you can.
Yeah, so I think with Fraser's point there, I mean, I think that when we did that training on the birthday bot, it's probably a good idea to consider the month, right? Because a lot of people, I mean, as personalized as it would be with regards to sending it out on a day or the day before, something like that, that would be really, really cool. But, maybe recognizing, hey, it's your birthday month, blah, 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 here's the offer or whatever it might be. That might be a better way to approach it. That way everybody is captured within that 30-day and you're not constantly sending out sponsored messages. That would probably be the way that I would approach it, is like a month or even, as you just mentioned, a week, if you can do it that way. If you're really dialed in on the weeks, that's like, 52 sponsored messages. It's a lot. But again, you're not going to spend a ton of money because it's not likely that there's not a lot of people that are having birthdays in your local area. You're not looking at hundreds or thousands of people having birthdays on the same day or the same week or whatever in a certain geographical area. The likelihood of that happening is probably pretty low. But it's just one way to think about it.
Yeah, and another thing to consider too is just be respectful with these types of things. I don't know. Think about what what you would want. Would you want constant messages from a business nonstop? No, probably not. Drew and I like to, like I said, keep things simple. Like we have a specific piece of content that we want to show people, or we've got a training coming up. In most cases, we're using the message to either put a piece of content in front of somebody or have somebody take a specific action for something that we have going on. So you just don't want to spam people. Just be, I think, respectful of that. And I think you'll be in good shape with these messages. It's just important to consider that. But really, really powerful and so inexpensive right now. It's going to change too. And then, of course, you never know, Facebook changes the rules. These things could go away at any time. Who the heck knows? I would just take advantage right now while you have the opportunity at such a low cost to get your message in front of people.
Yeah, Adam did mention the one-time notification beyond the 24 hours. I think there is that ability to do it. So that would probably be the other thing. I didn't think about that, but that's a good point, Adam. Thanks for pointing that out.
Yep, that's kind of like an opt-in though. So you have to have somebody actually request that, but that could work if you can find a unique way to kind of phrase that or position that notification. Yep. Awesome, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this and got some use out of it. We'll be doing more trainings like this coming up. We really appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with us. We appreciate all of you. Let us know if there's something that you're looking for information on or would really enjoy a training on. We're pretty much open to anything in terms of these types of workshops.
And to close the loop, guys, look for a message coming out from us later today or tomorrow, depending on when it gets approved by Facebook. The replay will be delivered that way. And I think we'll probably send out an email message as well to let everybody know that it's available and when it's available. And if you could do us a solid favor, if you know of anybody that might benefit from that training or from this particular training, go ahead and share that with them. We greatly appreciate the exposure, but by the same token, we're greatly interested in helping other people find and leverage the maximum value out of these types of sponsored messages. And hopefully this clears up the confusion about actually communicating with those particular lists. So for those of you who are not in our Delicious Marketing local hacks group, welcome you to join us over there. And please, go ahead and let people know that the group exists. Love to continue to share this type of information on future trainings as well. And we'll catch up to you guys real soon.
Have a great day, everybody.